Hi, Barbara. So it looks much better. He's doing a pretty good flat walk there, and your body position is much better. What I would recommend is you do have your leg back further. You're up in the front of the saddle more. Your shoulders over your hip and your heels pretty much underneath your hip. So all of that is good. The only thing I would do is have the hand a little bit lower, unless this horse is on the trotty side, but you're trying to keep a straight line coming up from the bit to your elbow. So you're looking more of a position like this. So you just want to lower that hand down to about here. And then let me start it up again. But he's shaking his head. He has a nice walk. And if he's pacey, we're going to want to bring his head down more and get more back relaxation as he goes faster. But if he's trotty, then keeping his head up is okay. So you are correct. He did pull you around that turn. And so I'm going to go back. So as you're getting ready to turn, what I would do is lean back on the turn. Actually, for the moment, push your leg forward so you have something to push against to help yourself be stronger. So lean back, push against your stirrup, look where you want to go around your turn, not down at your horse. So you'll look and then try to make a wider turn. And if he's still pulling you forward, what I would do is walk, stop your turn. So that means walk a step, stop, get yourself readjusted. Walk another step, stop, get yourself readjusted, and keep doing that and breaking that turn down so you're able to keep your upper body back. And then the other thing with your stirrup to make you more secure, you actually want to keep it on the ball of your foot for a couple of reasons. You'll be able to push down against it more, and you'll be able to have more weight in your heel, and that really helps to stabilize the rider's body position. And also, when you have your foot in it this far, although it might be comfortable for you and make you feel more secure, if you ever fall off, you can get your foot hung up in that stirrup. So you just want it on the ball of your foot, which is here. And that way you can slip your foot out of it if you needed to, if you were falling, but you'll also be able to push down harder on it. So watch the turn. So you want to lean back, and I would stop and then get your body way back. Think of getting it way back here. And right there, your eyes are up, so you're still good. But he cuts in and kind of pulls you around the turn. So I would stop again and then lean way back. And if he's pulling hard through the turn or he won't stop, you could pull with one hand and then the other back and forth. And then once you get him stopped, readjust yourself and try again. But you're trying to show him it's uncomfortable to pull you around the turn. And that's why I would slide the bit if he's really yanking you through that turn. But it's better than the last video, so it is an improvement, but I still want you back a lot further. And then as you come around the turn, he's walking out pretty well. And again, I just don't know if he's trotty or pacey for the moment. So again, if he's pacey, then I would have the hands lower. If he's trotty, then I would have the hands. I would keep your hands up where they are for the moment. So on the way back, he's going faster, and now he's going more towards a running walk. So you can see he still has a head shake. He still has leg separation, but he's moving faster. So he has a very nice gait. We'll just see what he does when you go to your saddle gait. So in this video, everything looks pretty good. Your hand position is better. Again, it's more a straight line from the bit up to your elbow. You're tilted just a little bit forward, and that would be okay if he was pacey, but otherwise you're lined up pretty well. And then here he's just doing, you know, either slow or flat walk. You could even call that a trail walk because it's slower. And when you pull on him, just try to pull your hands back towards your top of your hips. Try not to pull them down. And then I'm going to skip forward to where you do your turn. So here again, I would just make sure if you're looking at something to either stop and look, but don't go around the turn while you're looking somewhere else. And I would just set him up for the turn. I would lean way back, push your foot out in front of you, and then start your turn. So he gets you right there. You're kind of looking off the other direction at something, and then he pulls you around that turn. So I think for now, to get it where you can show him what you want, not confuse him, and keep yourself safe, is to walk, stop, and keep repositioning yourself. And then once you can do that really well, which might take a couple of days or a couple of weeks, then you could try walking around that turn. But if he's pulling on you, to slide that bit and make it uncomfortable for him. Now in this one, he did the turn much better and didn't pull on you much, but you're still falling forward. But he otherwise did a pretty nice turn there. Now here you start going faster, and it starts off pretty nice, but then he just keeps picking up speed. So you're not keeping the same speed with him. And then he gets more inverted. You saw it at a couple of steps. You're coming a little bit forward, which would help him if he's getting pacey, but the rein is kind of loose, and he just keeps taking advantage of that and gets faster and faster. And then you see you bouncing. That's because he was going more towards a step pace and a pace there. Now in this one, I think he's getting tense because you're going back towards his buddies or back towards home. So when he's doing something like this, instead of just holding him because it's just making him more tense, I would leg yield back and forth or serpentine back and forth. You can still try to gait, but those things will separate his legs more and get more of his attention. So getting his gait in this way, first we got to fix what he's attached to, because he won't concentrate or think until he doesn't want to go to that object. And then what I would try to do is get his head down more and get more relaxation through his back, so he's not as step pacey going this direction. Okay, so here he's good. This was at the trail walk. When you flat walk, his head's up a little bit more, and then when you're trying to go towards his saddle gait, it's up even a little bit more. The gaits you showed me here, his trail walk is good, his flat walk is good, and his running walk is good. But when you go for that saddle gait, he gets too inverted and too tense. So we got to make sure, well, first, before I forget, I can't tell if you have a curb chain on this. So you want to make sure you have a curb chain on that bit, because that'll help you to bring his head down. And we want to make sure he has a cue to bring his head down. So I'll send you a video on that. I can't remember if I sent it last time. But I would work on getting him to keep his head lower as you're going faster, not bringing it higher, because he seems to get anxious and more towards the pace, at least at this point in time. So as he goes faster, I would keep more contact and I would keep more pressure, and then when his head goes down, release. Because what we're trying to get him to do is, as you go faster, be more in this frame versus this other frame that he's getting in, which is making him more pacey. So see the frame he's in here? He's very inverted. His ears are almost up to your chin. He's tense in the muscles around his neck and then also in his spine. So as we go faster, we don't want him to stay in this because he's getting too step pacey. And so we want to try and get it that he's more relaxed and his head is much lower, like just above your saddle or level with your saddle. And I know he's getting anxious here because you're heading towards home. So again, I would do the serpentine, the leg yield, or walk, stop, and then just work on your saddle gait going away from those things. But as you're going faster, we want to give him a cue by having more pressure on your reins, but holding and having his head down. And then when his head is down, to release slightly. If you release too much and sometimes go too loose with the rein, then some of them will fall into a trot. So you kind of have to play around and see. But I'd like a much more relaxed neck and back and a more neutral body position from him to help you to get a smoother gait instead of going into that step pace. So if that doesn't make sense, just let me know and I'll send you a video on how to get his head down.